Welcome to the Fantasy Scholars. I'm Tyler, and today we're talking about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and why I think he's not quite ready to be that superstar we all want him to be in 2021. I'm going to go over some pros and cons and kind of discuss his fantasy outlook. Pros. He does have a lot of home run potential. This guy has a career of 24 homers. He hit 15 in 2019 and 9 last season. We have seen this through his exit velocity because he hits the ball really hard. He's in the top 7% in exit velocity, and he crushes the ball. He really does crush the ball, and he's not striking out that much. And for a young player who's not striking out, he's only striking out 15.6% of the time. And for a guy who's only 21, he's going to be 22 in March, and he's only striking out 15.6% of the time, that's very encouraging. He's making contact with the ball. Another pro is he is going to be a huge part of the Blue Jays' future. He already is. Blue Jays really want him in the lineup every single game, and we saw this in 2020 when he played all 60 games. He played first base, DH, and third base. So they will try to fit him in the lineup as much as they can because he has a lot of potential to be a big-time slugger. Now I want to go over some cons of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. In 2020, he only hit 262. Which to me, I don't like my hitters hitting under 265, 270. That's quite alarming. And I know he's a power hitter and we've seen him hit 270, but I don't think he's going to make a huge jump in 2021. The other thing that kind of really concerns me is 54.6% of the time, Vlad is hitting the ball when he's making contact, he's hitting the ball into the ground. That, for a power hitter, I don't like that at all. I mean, 54.6% of the time, that jump from 2019 when he was around 49%. So he's making contact. We talked about the strikeout rate being relatively good for him, but he's hitting the ball into the ground. He's not even getting into the air to hit homers, basically. So I am very concerned about that. That is very alarming. In his career, OPS is 791. The league average in 2020 was 740, so he is above the league average. But it did drop from 2019. But just to put that in perspective, Will Myers, the outfielder for the San Diego Padres, had an OPS of 959 in 2020. And his career OPS is 825. Now, to put that in another perspective, is Jason Hayward, who's been drafted as 414 overall compared to Vlad's 60th overall, has had an OPS last season of 848. Jason Hayward, the bust for the Chicago Cubs. That scares me a lot with Vlad Jr. And obviously these points, you would like to see him jump, and Vlad is going to be a much better player in 2021. I just don't think he's going to be the superstar quite yet. We've seen his power potential, which is really nice. We've seen that he can get RBIs, and he's going to be a huge part of that Blue Jays future. But I don't think it's going to be in 2021. And to look at these kind of the overall position of where he is being drafted, is he is 60 overall, and that's mixed league. So I mean, he's pretty high up there. You got pitchers and all those other players, and he's 8th overall for third baseman being drafted. That's scary for a guy who had an OPS of 791 last season and hit 262. And yeah, he is young, like we said, so he can really break out this season. And I'm not saying I'm going to be 100% right with this. It's just, I would explore other options because in these leagues, he is, because of his name and because he's a top prospect, he is going much higher in these drafts. So I'd definitely be very cautious before drafting him 60th overall in redraft leagues. In Dynasty leagues, he is going about 30th. So I definitely like him way more in Dynasty because I still think he has a lot of potential to be a great superstar. I just don't see that happening in 2021. But before I go, I want to go over some fun facts of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Fun fact number one, you guys all know this, is his dad, Vladimir Guerrero, is in the Hall of Fame and was an absolutely fantastic hitter in the majors. Who will be better, Vlad or Dad? That's the real question. Not in 2021, but, in the future, obviously. Fun fact number two is Vlad Jr. can speak fluent French. Spent a lot of time in Canada. His mom speaks fluent French. and so can Vlad Jr., which is pretty awesome. I cannot speak French at all. But thank you all for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video with everyone. Share it with your teammates, your friends, your neighbors, your uncles, your aunts, just everyone. And we'll see you guys next time.